Hello, everyone. It is May the 30th. From the first reading, minute plus meditation here, of course. St. Peter writes, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own people, in order that you may proclaim the mighty acts of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy." This is, in some ways, one of the greatest realities, and this is the fruit of the entire New Testament, right? Remember the Old Testament, God had a family. The family was split apart when Adam and Eve sinned, actually. That's when it started. But then it gets worse with the Tower of Babel, when languages were confused and everybody went their own way. And warring factions, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so, to get back to the people of Israel, as every father was a priest to his family, and the elder son inherited the priesthood. That was lost at Horeb, at the apostasy at Horeb, when they worshipped the golden calf. So the priesthood was stripped from the families and given to the Levites, who defended God's holiness by slaying 3,000 men in one day. It was like, we find it hard to comprehend this because we don't understand what involved in the stakes involved in God's infinite holiness and the corruption, the filth of sin. And we just don't understand it, but that they were ordained priests as a result of defending God's holiness, because they are the ones who refused to worship the golden calf. The only tribe was the tribe of Levi. So the priesthood was taken from the families. Now, St. Peter said, it's given back to everybody. You are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. The significance of this, you have to go back to that episode at Horeb, when they basically cast away the right to be priests. Now you are members of the royal priesthood, a holy nation. Now this is distinct from the ministerial priesthood, which serves the royal priesthood, and they're different by essence, not just by degree. So by essence, they're different through the sacrament of holy orders. A man is consecrated and is made a priest, a ministerial priest, in order to serve the royal priesthood. But we are all members of the royal priesthood. And as a result of that, we can offer sacrifice to God. For the members of the lay faithful, their first and primary sacrifice is that of their life, their work, their family, all of that to be offered in a wholesome and clear and pure and clean way. There's many, many consequences of that, but I just don't have time to go into them. To the gospel. Jesus and his disciples came to Jericho, and he and his disciples and a large crowd were leaving Jericho. So this is the blind man Bartimaeus, who shouts, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many sternly ordered him to be quiet, but he kept shouting more loudly, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And they called the man who was blind. He goes to Jesus, and Jesus says, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "My teacher, let me see again." And Jesus said, "You have your sight." So notice that Jesus does this a number of times. He knew what the man wanted, but I think he's giving us a teaching here on how we should be with one another. Rather than assuming, he could have assumed correctly, but you and I can make lots of mistakes and do, by assuming what somebody wants. By making statements, which we often do, so you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or accusations, Jesus asks questions. And he asks very good questions. They're not stupid questions. What do you want? What do you want me to do for you? So the man then is able to articulate exactly what he would like Jesus to do for him. "Please grant me my sight," and Jesus gives it to him. So this is a real skill for you and me, because we tend to throw bombs, verbal bombs, right, and make accusations or make statements. But we need to ask questions. Even Jesus doesn't always cure with a question. Sometimes he just does it. That's his prerogative. But when he asks questions, he knows what the person wants, but he's teaching us, I believe, to engage in this kind of interaction, with each other, is to ask questions so that the other person has the opportunity to then articulate to us what they're really asking for or what they are thinking or saying. So try to remember this in your everyday interactions with people. God bless you.